Hello everyone, welcome to a very late TikTok Tuesday. I'm recording this at 10 p.m., which means I have to record it and edit it and put it out in 2 hours, or else it's no longer TikTok Tuesday. You think I'll get to it? Let's hope so. I've had a very busy day today. My day isn't even done. Listen to everything I've done today, guys. I have researched and written and recorded and then handed off to Dave for editing a script for tomorrow's video. And after I'm done putting this out, I'm going to go make that video for tomorrow. And then Naomi and I went to go see Oppenheimer, and I've recorded a vlog for my side channel about that movie, so check that out tomorrow as well. And then we came home, we did a stream of Final Fantasy 16, me, Dave, and Naomi. It was a fun time. And now here at the end of the day, I'm recording TikTok Tuesday. No, I didn't forget. I just had a very, very busy day. Let's see all the stuff you guys have saved up for me this week. Oh, it's one of those environmental protests blocking the roads, eh? It looks German. Yeah, it is German. This is in Germany. These guys are assholes. I hate this. It's like, get out of the fucking road. Like, you guys aren't even helping anything. Just get out of the road. Oh, this guy wants to throw down? Was that like a kung fu stance? Like, whoa. I gotta like save up these clips and do an environmentalist video, because there's so many of them. Just people being assholes, blocking the road, getting absolutely, like, accomplishing nothing even for their own goals. You know, it's just, oh fuck, just watching them makes my head hurt. Oh, and this gotta be one of those, like, one of those drug videos where you just like see someone walking through a downtown core and just everyone hanging. Oh, the music. Yeah, I gotta mute that music, guys. I'm sorry. All my TikTok Tuesdays keep getting copyright struck, and it's kind of annoying, so I'm just gonna mute that. But yeah, you see all these videos, like, going through downtowns just full of rubbish, garbage, people who are high hanging around, prostitutes, needles, homeless people. Like, look at this guy. He's just slouched over, high as fuck. Like, what the fuck, dude? This shit is, like, just depressing. I understand, you know, the right-wingers right now saying don't live in a city. You see this, I understand. Not every city is like this. Not every neighborhood in the city is like this. But definitely don't live in the downtown core. It's fucking brutal right now. The drug problem is absolutely terrible. Some of it's out of their control, you know, people fall on hard times, I understand. But some of it is just a lack of virtue on their part. The inability to do the right thing. People want to be all like harm reductionists, but no, on some level it is a moral failing on the parts of the individual.
This is my meal. I call this girl dinner. Girl dinner.
What?
Girl dinner.
What is girl dinner?
What is girl
In May
dinner?
of 2023, TikToker Livy Marr seemed to have coined the phrase girl dinner in a
Girl
video,
dinner.
responding to another TikToker who had said the ideal meal is the imagined meal of a medieval peasant. Livy Marr shows
What?
her plate of breads and cheeses and says,
I call this girl dinner.
as the video went viral,
What
the
the
concept
fuck?
started to spread as other women showed off their various arrays of small portions that combined equal a meal. The concept was big enough to gain recognition on Twitter, where users
Okay,
began to parody
as a
it with
fat
memes.
guy, I'm insulted.
Now there's even a boy dinner variant, seeing men on TikTok showing what their dinner looks like.
This is my meal. I call this boy dinner.
Boy dinner.
The boy dinner
Oh my
concept also
God.
has garnered parodies on Twitter and TikTok, often with
All
memes
right,
comparing
all right,
boy
I get
dinner
it.
and girl dinner side by side.
All right, is this the next thing? Is this the new TikTok thing? God, I know I make TikToks now, but I fucking hate TikTok. The culture of the site's absolutely awful. It just makes me like groan in disgust at the human race. It's like, oh, girl dinner. It's where we eat nothing. All right. Are we bringing back like the anorexic chic of the 1990s? Of course, you can go too far the other direction, right? Like, I'm living proof. I am actually the fat guy you see on the screen right now. Oh, we've seen this chick before. This was the person who was like trans species, who believed that they were some kind of hawk. We saw it in a previous TikTok Tuesday. Okay, let's get an update from the trans hawk person.
Hi, my name is King, and I'm a non-human ultra in a DID system, and I'm making a Discord server for people who experience wing dysphoria. It is, of
What
course,
the
open
fuck?
to systems with non-human headmates, and it is also open to, I think they're called wingkin, literally anybody who experiences wing dysphoria.
Wing
Hope to see you there.
dysphoria.
Other folks who experience wing dysphoria and who get the phantom wings, I know we are all familiar with the feeling of needing
what
to
the-
stretch our wings and not being able to, but is it as common of an experience to feel like you have water on your wings, like feel like your wings got wet?
You don't
need
have
to, like,
wings.
fluff them up and
You've
shake the water
never
out,
had wings.
and you can't, and it's frustrating.
Oh my god. This is, I don't know if like TikTok is breeding mental illness or The mental illness always existed, and TikTok is just creating a place for it. All right, so let me see if you can get that. All right, these people, they're systems. Okay, systems are like the modern Zoomer term for a person with multiple personalities. Okay, however, they treat it with like a more spiritual bent. It's not, you know, the science of psychology. Now it's like you have multiple spirits inhabiting you, and some of these systems include non-human alters. Other personalities are called alters. Okay, so you have do I gotta do a video on all this nonsense terminology? So you have people with alters that are non-human, like other species. So for example, this person has a bird alter, so a bird alternate personality in their system of multiple personalities, because they're a bird, actually, and their brain is apparently wired to be like a bird, or so they claim. They experience wing dysphoria. So you know how like trans people experience gender dysphoria, where they feel like they should be the other gender? Wing dysphoria, presumably, is when you feel like you should have wings, and parts of the neurons in your brain are firing towards wings that don't exist, and it's causing dysphoria. I'm pretty sure this is all just either made up cope or like an extreme mental illness, but I do not believe for a second that anyone is actually, you know, inhabited by the spirit of an eagle. You know, it almost sounds like weird occultist Nazism to say it like that. You know, the spirit of the eagle. That's something you could see the Nazis saying. But here we are, guys. You think Hitler had wing dysphoria?
Oh, there are only 2 genders. It's just basic biology.
Based.
Hi, how you doing? Welcome to Advanced Biology from a biologist. You see that thing?
Oh, no.
So we're gonna go over some facts together, but first off,
is the fact that you've been ideologically captured, is that what the fact is here?
Happy Trans Day of Visibility, right? So sex and
Must be a
gender,
bit older, I
not
guess.
the same thing. You probably heard that before, right? It's because it's true, because biology actually has nothing to say about gender. You
Oh
have to
my
look towards
God.
Sociologists and
That degree is worthless. You might as well just start wiping your ass with it. Yes, of course, there's going to be some socially constructed components of gender. You want to know why? Because every single culture doesn't have the same presentation of masculinity or femininity. They have different types of clothing. They have different practices. They have different rituals, different habits. All right, fair enough. But you know what? There's a reason that most male people latch on to their culture's masculine gender role, and most female people latch on to their culture's feminine gender role. Because there actually is something in these gender roles that relates to biology. You don't have that 99% overlap if that's not the case.
And that's why when you defer to your basic biology 101 class that you failed in high school, you look like you don't know what you're talking about, right? Gender is only loosely related to sex insofar as we've identified certain physical characteristics and have arbitrarily decided that this person belongs to this gender. But there are a whole bunch of people from that gender that don't have those physical characteristics, right?
Like what?
It's almost like there's some variation to sex. And
Tell me
that's
about
because
it.
it's not a binary, it's a bimodal distribution where you have 2 extreme ends and most people falling somewhere in the middle.
No. He's talking about intersex people. And as far as I understand, intersex people are very, very, very rare. Okay? And since he's a biologist, he should know this. The sex page in Wikipedia. Sex is the trait that determines whether a sexually reproducing organism produces male or female gametes, otherwise known as small mobile gametes, spermatozoa, sperm, pollen, while females produce larger non-motile gametes, ova, often called egg cells. That's it. I know some people, even on the right wing, some people on Twitter were grumbling that I said that if you're neutered somehow, you're neither male nor female. That's true, because sex is the trait that determines whether a sexually reproducing organism produces male or female gametes. That's what it is. The point is that we're talking here about biology. And when this retard talks about the 2 extreme ends and most people falling somewhere in the middle, he's talking about secondary sex characteristics. But that's not the primary sex characteristic. The primary sex characteristic is what gametes you produce. So it's possible, for example, to be intersex, and so you're somebody who looks female and has various female secondary sex characteristics. So you have the hips and the butt and the boobs and whatever, but you don't produce large gametes because you're some type of intersex. But that's not most people. As he says here, most people falling somewhere in the middle. No, most people aren't intersex. Most people do not fall somewhere in the middle. Most people either produce large gametes or they produce small gametes, and therefore they're either female or male, and that's it. But this idea that like intersex people completely invalidate the sex binary is ridiculous. And also that you can use intersex people to backdoor in trans issues when trans people aren't intersex people. A trans person who has not yet transitioned, they're still male or female, and that's that.
You could be intersex. You could go your whole life being intersex and never know it. And the reason to that is because when you're born, nobody tests you. The doctor just decides what you look like and assigns you a sex. And then society then assigns you a gender
that's how it should
is traditionally associated with that sex.
Fine.
I really hate when people appeal to nature when they're trying to erase trans or gay people, because when you actually study the animal kingdom, the concepts of male and female cease to function as we understand them.
Retarded. Oh
when
my
you're talking
fucking
about
God.
creatures that have vastly different sexual dimorphism than us.
They still have sexual
Species that
dimorphism.
can flip-flop sexes or produce both gametes or reproduce asexually.
Yep, come on. Those all exist, but you know what? I think the most complicated species that can reproduce in a way that is not, you know, very strict, large gametes, small gametes, is like a crab. There's a crab that can do some of this stuff. Less complicated creatures than crabs, yeah. You have like bugs that do it, you have plants that do it, you have various single-celled organisms that do it. But once you start getting more complicated, it's pretty much universally male, female, large gamete, small gamete, and that's just how it is. Here's what's important about what this guy's trying to do here. He's taking the authority of his scientific background, which, let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say that it's true, and he didn't just buy a lab coat for 15 bucks off of Amazon. And he's saying that because I've studied this stuff, therefore this is how it is. But the questions he's posing, they're actually not questions of science. They're questions of philosophy. So we can look at a group of traits and we can say, okay, well, we have traits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all right? And we're going to group traits, 1, 2, 3 to be male traits and traits 4, 5, 6 to be female traits. The question, why should 1, 2, and 3 be grouped? And why should 4, 5, and 6 be grouped? That's a question of philosophy. Science allows us to observe the traits. Philosophy tells us how we should group what we observe. There's observation of the real world and then what we value out of that observation. Two different questions. He's saying that we should value the observations of the real world a specific way in line with his politics. And he's saying, look, it's because I'm a scientist. But he's not asking a scientific question. He's not saying that, oh, you actually don't know that this other scientific effect is happening in the real world. And that will, no, he's not saying anything like that. What he's saying is we should group them in this method, not in the method that has been traditionally used. But that's ultimately a question of philosophy, not science. Here's an example of what I mean. Why is it that a guy who's 6 foot tall, that guy's considered a tall man, but a guy who is, to use my own height, 5'7", I'm considered short? Why is that the case? I mean, the 5'7" and the 6'0", those are objective measurements. We have in fact measured two people. They are in fact this size. But it's philosophy that determines that we should classify 6'0" as tall and 5'7" as short. We could do it differently. We could in fact say that 6'2" is where tall begins, and that people who are 6'0", they're actually short. We could do it that way. The issue ultimately is what our preferences are, and that is at the heart of the philosophy. This guy clearly has progressive preferences, and he's using his credentials to make those preferences, to make that philosophy look like science, but it actually isn't. All right, let's do one more before we get out of here.
It's like every single day, you guys, and that's why I complain about all the time.
That voice, is this another trans one?
What's his name? What's your name?
Huh?
Alex? Yeah, your name's Alex, and I'm gonna be telling your manager, this guy called me sir. I get this happens every day. Everywhere I go, I get called sir. I'm so hurt. Why would you call a chick big ass?
It's because you don't pass, dude.
No,
that's
stop
why.
Trying to gaslight trans people and tell us that we're crazy.
Well, you are kind of crazy,
Wait,
to be honest.
Did you call me sir again? What was that? You said goodnight, sir? This is transphobic.
Okay, now he's just fucking trolling.
You're a bigot. Alright, Alex, you know what? I can't wait to this. It's a slur. Do you not understand?
Wait, is sir a slur now?
Call the person of color the N-word. Don't.
It's like calling him the N-word. Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
I have the right to be pissed about it. You did. You did, you liar. Cis people need to be held accountable for how they treat trans people. And I'm not going to put up with this anymore. You're crazy, bro. Don't call me bro.
Don't call me bro.
Throwing slurs at me, you piece of No, you.
Oh my god.
Cis, are you bro? You don't even know me.
Oh my god, dude.
Don't call me sir. This is transphobia. Right here at the top.
Yeah, get the fuck out. Okay, listen here. I'll properly gender you, okay? You're being a fucking Karen. There is this idea that, like, using the wrong pronouns or using a dead name or saying, like, sir or instead of ma'am or whatever, that is on par with the worst possible slurs. Trans activists are claiming that now, that it's, like, it's on par with, like, saying the N-word, not as a joke, but with, like, real hatred in your heart. Like, saying it like, that's what it is. And it's like, no, you guys are fucking ridiculous. That's so stupid. That's so dumb. Trans people are, like, they're unironically the most sensitive, the most triggered fucking people right now. It's wild. You know, some of them, obviously, like, not all. Trans activists, let's say, the craziest fucking people right now, dude. All right, that's enough nonsense for me. Hopefully I can get this up in time for midnight. It's gonna be a race against the clock to edit it all. I've got maybe an hour to do it. Let's see if I can get it done, guys. If I can't, here, you know what? Here, post in the comments. Did I actually get it out before midnight EST? I don't know. Let's see. All right, guys, I will see you next time. Have a good one. I love you.